Loading program, Trekcommendations.
Hello and welcome to Trekcommendations, a show that each week finds a fabulous guest to come on for a fun chat and share something they think is special in the greater world of Star Trek. Joining me this week is a self-proclaimed nerd and cosplayer who has created stunning cosplays in various fandoms, but most importantly for us, we have seen her as a Vulcan, a Trill, and even an Andorian, and now we get to see her on the show. It's Lauren DeLorean.
Hello.
All right, welcome to the show. I love that you've come, kid. I should go and grab a. I feel like I should grab a uniform to match, but that would mean moving, and I'm already comfortable, so I won't do that. But thank you for joining the show. And if anyone doubted your Star Trek credentials, just a small glance around kind of the background, and we're picking up a number of things there. So this is nice, but we still got to calibrate you. So we're going to jump straight into some calibration questions.
Calibrating.
The first question I ask all first-time guests is, Lauren, what is your favorite Star Trek show?
Oh, that's DS9.
You said that very definitively.
Yeah, it's my favorite. It's my ultimate comfort show. It's the one I gravitate to, the one I've rewatched the most, and it's just my favorite.
Yeah. What was it? The one that got you in, or did you kind of come across it as a spin-off of something else you were watching? You're like, oh, here's another Star Trek show.
I think it is the one that got me in, because when I was a kid, obviously, like, Enterprise was on, but I was doing other things. I was crafting and whatever. I wasn't really paying attention. It's like, unless Worf was on screen, and so really just getting into it again. It was DS9, and then obviously Discovery, watching all of that. So and then going back and rewatching Enterprise and Voyager. And
I've got to ask, because you referred to it as like comfort DS9, and I like I like all, particularly the classic Trek. I like all of that, and I like some of the new Trek as well, and some of it's good. But with the idea of it being like comfort, I don't know, Deep Space Nine, especially when you get to like the whole war sort of with the Dominion, I don't know if I find it comforting. Like, I enjoy it.
Oh, it's comforting because they're held together. It's like they know what to do. It's so human, and they capture just the characters so well. And there's just such a range of characters and how they handle these really tense scenarios, like just having it on in the background, the dialogue. And just because I do a lot of sewing, so I'm not watching, it's listening, and it's just hearing the conversations that are happening and the debates and just how they're handling these scenarios, and then also having like the comic relief throughout that. It's just something about the tension and the up and down. It's just really comforting to me.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I'm not saying war's comforting.
No, I know. I think it's one of the shows that, like, I really like Deep Space Nine. It's probably in my top 3 of Star Trek shows. But it's also one that does make me tense with stuff going on at times, and you're kind of like, oh, how they're gonna. There are also, there's a baseball episode. Like, there's stuff that's very low stakes, but I guess maybe because it's got that more overarching story compared to other Trek, where you're like, I can put on an episode of TNG, and it does not matter which season I'm kind of plucking from. It's just a standalone, and it'll all be fine in the end. And the status quo will be returned. But you've said an interesting thing about the sewing. First of all, it's always wonderful to hear when a cosplayer is saying they're doing loads of sewing, because you're like, oh, that's brilliant. They're making all their own costumes. Fantastic. So we love that. As someone who really struggles to, staple something together.
Oh, it's so easy. It's so easy. Don't worry about it.
I'm going to send you for a list of questions later of like, I've got this idea. How do I do that?
Go ahead.
But what I was going to say is, there's a lot of discourse with modern, I'm obviously we're talking about Star Trek, so like modern Trek, but just modern television in general, and this whole idea of like second screen viewing. And so they're so important. Like there's so much emphasis on making a big spectacle to kind of get you to look up from the second screen. But to your point of like, you're sewing and you're listening, and there's a lot of talking, and that's been my kind of argument for Star Trek is I'm like, I don't like, fine, have them looking at their phone at the same time. If there's a big scene where it's a lot of dialogue and they're talking, they don't need to look at the screen. They can hear that. Like, that's absolutely fine. So I'm happy to hear someone who's like, I just have it on almost as the radio. Like, I'm just listening. That is the beauty of Star Trek, I think. I love the talky episodes. Like, that's I've said it on here many times. Like, Measure of a Man for me is like probably my favorite episode, and that's all talking, but it's great talking. Like, that's the point. Okay, moving on to my second question for you. Obviously, you study alien designs quite closely within Star Trek. We talked about Deep Space Nine. Done a wonderful Dax cosplay as well. My question for you is: what are your top 3 Star Trek alien designs?
Oh, it's Andorian is the top one, just because the classic, the little alien dealy boppers. I mean, it's just perfect. Love the blue and the white. It's just so icy cool. You can look at them and know exactly where their planet, what their planet is like. There's a lot of storytelling in the design. I love how it's progressed from TOS to now. One of my favorites. It's just I struggle picking favorite anythings. If you know me, it's just
yeah. I know, because I hate getting these kind of questions asked to me, but I enjoy asking them to other people. But Andorian is a great shout. I've said it on here many times. I'm a big Andorian fan. And actually, this is one of the first times we spoke was when I was like asking about the shade of blue that you're using and stuff like that. And I have not yet committed to completely covering myself in blue paint yet. But if for the right event, if I'm going to like a particular, I mean, we've seen a lot of people were in Vegas recently. I was not there. The fact that we're having this call now, I believe you were not there. I think if I'd made the effort to get all the way to Vegas, I probably would have been like, I'm going blue for this. Like, that's the kind of like, I'll commit. Yeah, it's okay. We can go with Andorian and others if you like.
It's like there's Vulcans, obviously. That's just a really simple, just the eyebrow makeup and the ears. That's like a nice one for me because it's an alien makeup that's easier to do. I don't have to commit to a full body paint, but it's still alien. It's still that kind of like ethereal kind of, it's that elven, like that Lord of the Rings kind of vibe where they're just better than all of you. They've got
better than everyone else.
Very tall, elegant kind of, and all their fashion is just, especially as it's progressed through the show, it's just so beautiful and just like so precise and just elegant, and again, just showing you where they come from and who they are through their clothing.
Yeah. So, have you ever done I know there's like a very subtle difference, but have you ever done a Romulan cosplay?
I haven't done a Romulan, but I want to. I want to make one of the original, create my own design on one of the patterns. Just so cool as well. Just so
that long,
geometric.
Like, purple strip kind of down one side. I think, no, that would be, I was thinking about it recently. I don't know why, but I was like, I was actually, I must have been thinking about it a lot because I remember doing some Google searches on different types of prosthetics that would work for like the forehead kind of ridges sort of thing. But I've not committed that far yet. Going with going back to the Vulcans, I know you've done a number of like Vulcan cosplays. Do you find it very? I don't know if this is a compliment or not, but like, you're probably one of the most Vulcan-looking Vulcans I've seen when you've done a cosplay. Like it. I don't know if it's just the skill with the makeup or whether you just feel like maybe your features naturally kind of fit to that vibe. I don't know. But I think the first time I saw it, I was like, well, that actually looks like it's come off the set. Like that.
Oh, thank you.
Really good.
I think I've got high cheekbones. I think that helps. And just when you're doing your makeup as well, it's just a lot of lift lift. Like I shave the ends of my eyebrows off. I commit.
You do
And
commit,
just it's
yeah.
drawing them straight up, and then it's having everything's going up, and like you contour as well. It's just a lot of lift, a lot of sharp edge. You gotta have everything high up so you can look down at people.
Yeah, that's what it is, isn't it? It's yes. It goes back to your kind of the elven sort of I'm better than you. That's all you need to do. That's probably my problem. Is I never look at anyone like I'm better than them. So I think that's why I'm struggling. No, I have got like a pair of ears and a really bad wig that I have thrown on for some little skits that I've done. But considering that they're kind of meant to be comedic anyway, I feel like I can really get away with it being a poor quality costume because it sort of adds to the whole kind of,
That's the beauty of costume. It's telling a story. It's like if you want it to be silly and it's like, bad, it's not bad if it's achieving the goal of what you want it to do.
Yeah. And the wig is long enough to cover my eyebrows, so I don't have to shave them because it's just a really like long bowl cut anyway. So I was like, that way no one would. And there's just some ears pointing out the side, so it's fine. Very good. Okay, so we managed to get at least 2 from you there. The third question I have for you leans quite heavily on the previous question anyway, and on your experience, which is, do you have a dream cosplay? Time, money, no object. What would be the dream cosplay you would do?
Like the first thing that comes to mind, I've got one designed, and it's the Orion bikinis. It's what a attendee calls it, her ceremonial bikini.
Right, yeah.
And I just think it's so funny that she referred to it as that. It's like, I love the lower decks, like the humor and all of that. And it's just designing something and creating something that's just like, like it would be my Princess Leia bikini, my version of that, like designing something so like really pretty and beautiful and just really flowy and all the textures and all the gold glitter and things like that. So for costume wise, just creating something that looks, just like, because like Tendi she's a princess, so it's like what would be an Orion princess ceremonial bikini. And I was like looking at designs like little dagger charms and things like that, like showing just the story behind what would be this high powered princess's ceremonial like golden bikini. There's just something funny and cute like that, and then obviously all the green paint. Just
and when you see all the green paint, I mean, if you're going for ceremonial bikini, that's a lot of it's not like, oh, I can paint my face blue and my hands blue and then I've got a full uniform and I'm an Orion but an Andorian, but you can only see kind of the neck up. You're like, oh no, now that's a big commit. What's a bigger commitment then? Is shaving the eyebrows or deciding that much green or blue or something is going to be?
Oh, probably the paint, because at least with the eyebrows, like it takes 2 seconds and it's done. But it takes a long time to get into like a full body paint of green. I've been seeing some of the girlies on Instagram at the Vegas con, and there are some absolutely gorgeous Orion cosplays. And it's just like doing that in a hotel room. Oh, I don't know what time they're getting up at.
And at what point through the process are they questioning choices they've made in life that have led them to here? I mean, like it's 4 a.m. and I'm halfway done in coating myself in green paint. Yeah. What interested me was, I can see on the surface. So I mean, like, ceremonial bikini, gold bikini, yeah, whatever. But you're talking of like dagger charms and things like that. Like you really. It's interesting because like this isn't a podcast about cosplay and the process, but you can't help but kind of spill some of the kind of your process with making the costumes, which is, I would say, far more in depth than I would have realized just going in, that you're kind of taking it to that level on something like that. And yes, ceremonial bikini is crazy. Like that's just a fun combination of words you don't expect
It's
to
just
have
so
together.
silly.
Yeah. There's been some rumors that maybe something Lower Decksy is coming back. So, you never know. We might see. But at the moment, who knows what's going on with Paramount and Secret Hideout and all of these things. So
I wanted there
who
to be
knows?
a spin-off with the Starbase 80. That's what I was hoping. Like they were kind of setting something up there because it's a rundown Starbase, kind of like DS9, and they had who was the actress that was voicing? Was it Nicole Byers? I think it's her name.
Maybe
She was voice acting like the main character that was like running the place, and I was like, well, she's kind of like a biggish name, and I was like, maybe they're like setting it up, and then just nothing happened. It was like, well, just one cool episode, I guess.
Yeah, it's a chat. I like animation. I enjoy, and I am somebody who I like animation, and I understand that it's not free, and this idea of like you can do anything in animation. But I also, my big thing about animation within Star Trek is I'm like, it costs as much to animate a human as it does an alien, and it's not this. Whereas when you're filming live action, it's a lot. The process to turn an actual human into an alien compared to having an actor who just puts on a uniform is quite different. So I just feel I like Lower Decks. I enjoy it for what it is. And I even like the animated series, TOS animated series. But I always feel like animation in Star Trek has just missed the mark. Like, I think you could make an amazing animated show, like a proper, like not a comedic show, but like a proper, just here's a great
like
Star
a
Trek,
serious one.
like a serious one, and just because you can just have these amazing aliens that particularly the ones that we've come across in the books again, where there's not the limits of.
Is that not? I know it's not like drawn, but Prodigy is more that vibe.
Exactly. Yeah, and Prodigy was very good, but I feel like it missed the mark just because of marketing more than anything, and how it was directed. And I
don't know what they did with that show because it's brilliant.
Yeah,
and
they were
it's
like,
just like you go on Paramount and it's not there.
it doesn't exist. Yeah, unless you've got the DVDs, it's gone. So I'm happy
the
that
DVDs.
I am happy that I watched it all when you could. I think I watched it on Netflix because in the UK, I think they had it on Netflix for quite a while. I don't think I ever saw it on Paramount. I don't think they ever put it on here anyway. But that was a show that it was like people thought it was for kids. But you're absolutely right. There, you had crazy looking characters, and
the
they could do
beautiful,
incredible things.
like, was there some of those? I don't know what they call the scenes where it's like it's just the most beautiful art and rendering you've ever seen. It's like some of the most beautiful, like the spaceship, like I don't know what you call them, like splash. Splash. I don't know what you call them.
Yeah, in a comic it would be like a splash page, wasn't it? It's just that kind of like where it pans across, and it's a good. I don't study film enough to know.
Some of the most beautiful ones are in Prodigy I've ever seen, and you're just like, these could all easily be posters.
Yeah, and I know you're a Star Wars fan. Well, I'm assuming you are from numerous, cosplays, and even you mentioned Ahsoka before we hit record, I think. So I know you know Star Wars, but like Ahsoka animated, like Star Wars did incredible fit, like the Clone Wars, like ran forever. Was
all the animated Star Wars.
And that had that more serious, there were comedic episodes again, but it had that more kind of serious tone to it. But I'm just, the reason I'm thinking this is, and I've had Vernon Draws on here who does the Lower Decks art, like the comic for Lower Decks, the comic. So the art is what it is for the show. But when you're talking of like the details you're thinking about putting into this costume, that's where I'm like, oh, you can get some animation that, you'd really get to see someone like Tendi, like in incredible detail compared to the kind of quite simplistic design for Lower Decks. So that's my other kind of.
It's like when you said that, it just makes me think of like have you ever seen Love, Death and Robots on Netflix? And like just the different kinds of animation styles, and it's just thinking about like a Star Trek in like one of those kind of animation styles would just be absolutely insane. Is it like a Jabaro, with the golden, where she's made out of all the gold coins, that crazy kind of detail.
Yeah, I would
Like
love
for some,
something like that. Like they did with Star Wars, didn't they? What was it? Visions, I think it was, where they had sort of 6 different studios make a short thing. Because I
yes,
think as well, I can understand that you can't necessarily commit. So the story that I want, every time someone's asking like, what show would you like? Okay, actual Star Trek show, I just want a new ship, a new crew, and go off on a new adventure. That's really what I want. But if it's like an interesting story, I kind of like the idea of like a spy versus spy show
ooh,
that is a Romulan Tal Shiar, a Cardassian Obsidian Order. They are both trying to get the same thing. Maybe it's the Omega Particle, who knows? But like they're all trying, and it's that's kind of subterfuge and this and that. And but I think that would work as a short, like a well
yeah.
animated, really interesting kind of story, something like that. So
I think that'd be cool, and just having those like shorter stories and like leasing it out to like the different animation houses as well, and just
yeah,
having that just like that that change of pace and that different aesthetic as well. I think it would be good just to freshen things up and just get more eyes and more attention on like making it like animation is serious and
yeah.
it's like there's a lot of I think
And
that's great.
what would be amazing if they did that would then it the way it would be like a circle, because it would come back to then you'd get cosplayers who are doing the animated versions of these things. Like you see like at anime conventions, like some of the costumes they get there, where you're kind of like, that this shouldn't work in the real world. Like this is a drawing. It should not, and that somehow they've made it into a real costume. You'd get all the Star Trek cosplayers being able to kind of be like, I feel there would be a way they could make it that like you could look at 2 people wearing a uniform and you could be like, oh, they've got a uniform from the show. This person's made the animated uniform. Like I could tell, like and I think that would be cool. I think that would be a fun project for cosplayers, because they're the people I'm thinking about. It's all for the cosplayers. Okay, but fun. So, well, I've said it's a dream cosplay was the question, but you've gone with something that it sounds like one day we might actually see materialize.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
so
it's me. It's like I kind of just like making my own dreams come true. So
well, there's a line. Wonderful. So normally I wait to the very end of the show to ask people, oh, where can they find you? But if you've just heard this and you're like, okay, this will be interesting, I need to see when this comes out. Lauren DeLorean on Instagram. That's where you need to
yeah.
go, and you'll find her there. Okay. Well, I feel warm. Hopefully you do. Lauren, we're going to go into Red Alert.
Oh,
Yes, exactly. So now the clock has appeared on the screen. It is at this time, Lauren, that I would ask, please, could you share with us what is your recommendation? And if you can, in 60 seconds or less.
my recommendation is Star Trek comics, and I've got props to help me with my 60 seconds. There's all kinds of comics that you can read and collect. You can get them monthly, one by one, if you would like. I have got the latest Starfleet Academy, Lost Contact here. Absolutely amazing series, and this is with the latest Academy cast. And I also have recently the full collection of the one which came out accompanying DS9 from the 90s. How cute is that? Absolutely gorgeous, beautiful art. So you've got all kinds of vintage comics to collect if you're more into vintage comics. And if you've missed any of them, they do omnibuses. So you can then catch up on all of them and then pick up the ones which come out monthly right afterwards. So there's a comic for everyone.
Oh, fantastic. That was some pretty perfect timing as well. So well done. Well done there.
Thank you.
I think I should start giving people bonus time when they bring on props. I think that's fine. You can like every prop comes out, you get extra 5 seconds. Okay. So I can just glance across. So I have my massive pile of like unread books, because people come on and recommend books and I foolishly buy them and don't read them. But then behind them is my collection of comics that do get read.
Yeah.
But
you're
I'll be
going to
honest
find
with you.
time for a comic.
Well, that's it. And I'm looking there and I've got quite a, I've got nothing on Richard's Final Frontier. That guy, he's got so many comics, but I have a decent amount of comics that are a mix of Marvel, DC, and a number of Star Trek comics in there, but not nearly enough. And there's some that I really like there. I was in my local library and I found some Star Trek comics, and they were very bad. So I was like, oh no, this is a problem. They're not always good. Good job there's a show where people can come and tell you good things. So so you've got two different types of Academy books there, which I think is very interesting.
Thank you.
I'm not going to ask which is your favorite, but which is your favorite? So do you like the classic, or is the modern one more captivating for you?
I'm just gonna, for now, I'm gonna go with the modern one.
Okay.
Just, I haven't finished reading all of the vintage ones yet because they're new to my collection. But
so what got you into the comics?
My partner.
All right. Okay. So
he was big into comics as a kid, and I was more into like manga and anime, more of that side. And then when we got together, it just, you blend everything in, and then it's like, oh, well, I'll start reading these, and you can start reading these mangas.
Okay. So, which one of you makes the mistake more often of opening it from the wrong side? Are you trying to read the comic backwards, or is he trying to read the manga from the front?
What do you think? Yeah, it's him. He makes the mistake.
Well, that's because that's so unnatural to us to sort of start at the back, right? But
yeah, I've been reading them since I was like a kid, so I don't make that mistake.
Okay, we're going to make a very small tangent away from Star Trek. What are some manga recommendations you have?
Oh, all of mine are like really girly.
Right, my wife will listen to the show.
I love My Dress Up Darling. That's so cute. It's a manga and an anime series now. It's about a girl, and she does cosplay.
Yes.
And then she meets, obviously, and then she meets a guy, and he's shy, and then he's really good at sewing. And then they kind of like become friends and unite their skills together, as her as a cosplay model and him as a seamstress or seamster.
Yes.
So
because I have seen that. He's like, because he makes the little dolls originally, doesn't he? He does like the traditional Japanese kind of. That's why he's so good at sewing.
Cute.
Yes. Yeah. My wife and I watched. I think there's been 2 seasons of that. I think, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, we've watched them. So don't worry.
Perfect. I love that.
Yeah. I'll qualify that. I watched it with my wife, as you said, it was girly.
Yes, it's a little bit curly. It's not Dragon Ball Z.
No. Which of course I've also watched. Because
everyone's.
Yeah. Well, when I was growing up, that was like Cartoon Network on TV. That for me, that was after school.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we got through that, because that was like 10 minutes of new content followed by 20 minutes of them like summoning a spirit bomb, and you're just like, okay, I guess tomorrow we'll find out if he finally finishes doing this thing. And
then if you missed that episode, that was it.
Yeah. And this is why I have to tell my kids who stream everything now. And I'm like, you do not understand that you have everything at your fingertips. And like,
we're so lucky.
Oh, they've taken it off Netflix, have they? Oh, they've taken it off Netflix. Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, imagine missing it and never getting it again. Like, that's, anyway. Imagine at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, like all the shows you would possibly be interested in disappear. And
just gone. It's gone forever. That was it. And and then just on the playground the next day, they're just telling you what happened. And you're like, well, that was great. Wish I could have seen it.
But there was a great period in my life that was like, I think it was Dragon Ball Z, Batman Beyond. And that was sort of the 2 shows back to back. Oh, amazing. Yeah, love that. But anyway, not Star Trek. So we'll move back to Star Trek. I am interested in the Academy comics, just because I guess I'm interested in compared to the TV show, sort of how similar is the vibe? I guess is the question. Are they a bit more? Are they more Star Trek or more? I don't know, more teen drama.
it's
hard to say.
it's both, and
Yeah.
it's like, and I like that, but because it is they're young and it is they're younger characters, and it's like, because watching DS9 as well, and the vintage Starfleet Academy that have Nog in it, you know, it's like it's that scene. I don't know, it's, you know, when Nog goes to Cisco, and it's like, and he's, you know, he's needing help and he's in Starfleet, and you're seeing his character more. He's still very young and impressionable and still figuring a lot of things out, and, you know, working with, you know, they're all put into this big, like, I know their universe is shared a lot anyways, but now you're like in close quarters and living with so many different kinds of people.
Yeah.
And I mean, with my own experience, you know, going to like uni and stuff, there's so many different kinds of people, and these are like different kinds of alien cultures, and everyone's like trying to prove something in this like really tense environment, and just also like people are there for their own reasons, and seeing that how all of those connect is it's so interesting to me personally, because I'm fascinated with that kind of like interaction and that kind of writing, of just how, because when they're older and they're graduated, like in you know, DS9 or Next Gen, they're already, or like even in Voyager, they're already established, you know, Starfleet, like, I don't know, ensigns, lieutenants. They've already had a history, and they've already had experiences and being in a team and working like towards these goals. But these are young adults, and it's just seeing just things which, like, you wouldn't see them make a mistake like that in a regular episode. So then it's like, so how would then I'm bad at remembering names. Like, how would who's the headmaster again?
Oh, is Ake, isn't it?
Ake,
Nala?
that's it.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Pella. It's like,
Hey, well, they're the same. Well, they're the same species. Yeah.
yeah, I get them mixed up. I'm bad with names. Seeing like how she is then like trying to like guide and to teach someone, and then like through that, and then in a group through that, and it's just, and not just being like, you know, how like if Harry would make a mistake, how Janeway would then be like, you know, it's like you can make a mistake, but you can't, you know, be lazy.
Yeah.
And then it's like you can't make, because it was in her book, because that was it when I was that's where I'm remembering it from, and it's seeing how she like that reflected in Voyager. So I loved that connection in her autobiography, where it's
well, I was going to ask you if you liked sort of her academy pick, because she made mistakes. She did stupid things at the academy. Even as an ensign, she made some, you know, foolish mistakes. Still got promoted incredibly quickly and never promoted Harry Kim, and that's my biggest takeaway from that book. But I think for me, like, I am more than happy with I say kids, they're like in their 20s, they're not kids, but you know, I'm more than happy with them making mistakes, because exactly as you said, they're not Starfleet officers. They're training to become Starfleet officers. They are young. They're going to do stupid things. They're going to, you know, act on impulse instead of logically thinking their way through situations. So that was never my issue with like Academy. Like, I didn't mind that, because I'm like, well, that's the characters and that's how they should behave to a degree. What my kind of issue was more with the grown-ups, because I was like, they should be, what I want is, I guess you know, you've mentioned Nog, and then you've got Cisco, and then you think about like Wesley Crusher, stupid things he did at the academy, but he's got Picard. Like, they have someone there who is so
They're role
and
models.
yeah, and then they also had, Nog also had O'Brien, and he had like, even Dax and all on Worf, and like the whole kind of crew are there to help him. And I feel like that was what was lacking for me personally in Academy, which I didn't
No,
think
I
we'd
see
get,
that.
because they came in, and in the episode 1, because one of the complaints we had with Discovery is like we kept going to the bridge and we didn't really know who anyone on the bridge was. Like you're watching it and you go, I still can't remember anybody's name, because we sort of, and there was this scene in the first episode of Academy where she's like, every member of the bridge crew is being introduced, and you're like, great, these are going to be the mentors, we've got the students, and then we've got the and then we basically never saw them again. Like they were just not there. And I was kind of thinking, well, and I guess within the Academy, we never really saw them learning anything. There wasn't any
It was
kind of,
the episode with you saying that is the episode with Tilly comes in.
Yeah.
And then that's like, I think that's like more of that, is that what, like, having those strong role models in that, and like, she is, she's like guiding them, and they're like, I can tell what you're doing. I'm not like a child. I can tell you're trying to get me to think about this difficult thing and to express it, all these difficult things, but I don't want to. And then she's like, well, it's either that or, it's like, what else is there? What are you going to do? And it's like, you tell me, and it's like having like that really adult, frank conversation, and like, and also like in that group environment, and you have the group, the core cast, and then, like the other students around them, it's just like, it's like, you can tell, like,
you can tell who the main characters are, and who's getting special treatment. Yeah. I think for me that the episode that kind of, well, firstly, because 2 characters I did like, I know other people didn't like, but I really liked Bavi and Zor. I think it's Dorso or something like that. So the Vulcan and the Romulan little pair from the War College. I liked them, and I liked them also because I was like, oh, we've jumped now so far to the future, and we had all these episodes about Vulcans and Romulans and unification and getting them back together, and now we're seeing it. Like this is the result, right? They're a Vulcan and a Romulan, but they're actually the same, and they're together in a wonderful, like, great pairing. And I did a little video on that, and the actor got back to me with like, oh, that was really nice. He's like, oh, next week's a great episode for Bavi. I was like, oh, wonderful. And he died. And I was like, wow. I was like, brilliant. As soon as we got a bit of backstory, I was like, oh, here we go. But that episode, that's the one that didn't sit well with me, because I was like, they went on a training mission, then it all went wrong, and at no point did the grown-ups step in and be like, okay, watch, learn, but now we need to take control, because they just let the cadets keep doing it, and someone died. So I feel like that wasn't the right choice. And I made a video about that, and people got very angry with me, being like, well, they were training and they were supervising. I was like, I get that, but if I'm in a house and it's on fire, and a fire engine turns up and the guy shouts, oh, we've got a group of cadets with us, we're going to let them handle it this time.
Yeah.
I'm not happy. I'm like, no, you guys, the professionals, you do it and let them watch. But like, don't risk my life on that. And I just wish there'd been a bit more schooling. Like we would have seen them.
Yeah.
And then each year you'd see them kind of having progressed and learned more. But
like, let loose a bit more, like a little less, like on the like tight reins or on the leash or something like that. Just I see that. I think that's definitely that's what I would like to see in that as well.
I think the trouble is, though, like for me, that was my kind of complaint and criticism about it. The problem being, because there was so much like venom launched towards Academy in general, you just weren't like, if you had a negative opinion, you just got lumped in with people that were like super negative and aggressive about it, and you're like, no, I
wouldn't even say that was a negative opinion, though. I think that's just a pretty fair like opinion.
Tell that to the people in the comments.
There are teachers and there are students. It's like, if you think about like bringing it into like our time, like I know you had the example of the fire engine, but it's just like in just like a regular school, you know, it's like you wouldn't have there's like fail safes, and it's just things like it would be kind of like a peek behind the curtain, where it's like, yeah, we're viewing the show from the cadets' perspective, and then having that cool switch where it's like, all right, this is why we're here to teach. This is, they're the elite, the best of what they do. They've been asked to teach, and now we see that switch, and then it gives you that confidence and being like, oh, well, this is why I want to be in Starfleet, because of, they have that.
I think that would be really good for those characters that were a bit kind of like, we already know everything.
Yeah.
To then and they don't listen to their teachers, they don't listen to instructors because they know better. And I'm a parent, I've got kids, so I know what it's like with like, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing, and just sometimes there just needs to be a very visual demonstration of like, no, actually, I know what I'm doing. And the reason I'm telling you to do things a certain way is because I know. And maybe, and you can have backstory. Maybe the reason I know is because I made the mistake. And because I made the mistake, I'm in a position to help you not make that mistake. And that's going to be better for you. Because yes, I learned from the mistakes, but I carry the scars of those mistakes. But I can help you avoid that. And suddenly they're like, oh, actually, there is a reason we're here. And there is a reason they're in charge. And you can have that kind of growth there.
Yeah, that depth. Because it was kind of focused more on her latest mistake, on letting, like imprisoning his mum, and like fixing, just rather than it being like, she is the sum of like a person is a sum of all of their actions, like mistakes, how they fix them, and then it's like, creating like a beautiful puzzle and just, showing, you can see a whole picture, but you can see where they all join up. It's not smooth, something like that kind of messaging behind it would have been just more depth, I think, would have, like you said.
But maybe, and now I'm going to watch me like turn this ship around, but maybe that's where the comics come in, is it gives you that opportunity to explore some of this depth and backstory, and I guess you get other writers in for comics that can kind of say like, actually, I've got an idea of how, I mean, that's like, I could write the comic. I'm not a comic writer, but in the idea of like, I might have seen the show and been like, oh, actually, I would like to see a bit of this. And then, I happen to be a comic book writer working for IDW, and I'm like, let me have a go. I've got a good story. I've got an idea. And then they can flesh those things out in the comics. So that's actually why I like the comics. I like the books, is because you can get kind of all of that. You showed an omnibus earlier that was it the red shirt omnibus?
Yes, the red shirts.
I mean, the cover captures my attention immediately.
There's some really beautiful splash pages in here.
Yeah. So can you have you read this one yet, or is this on the to be read part? Can I get a brief, like, what's it about?
Oh, this one is, I love this one. It's one of my favorites. I'm glad I got the omnibus, because the monthly ones are coming out, which is a continuation kind of that story.
Okay. So by the looks of it, so it's set, I'm guessing, well, the first one looked like it was sort of TOS era. That's looking movie era.
It's TOS era.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you even see the Enterprise crew at the very last.
Yeah.
Very last bits.
Is
There's
it a good
like a
story?
little tease there to be like, ooh, why? Ooh.
Yeah. Well, is that so? I mean, you're bringing on comics in general as your recommendation, but would that be a strong recommendation? The Red Shirts one?
Oh, definitely. If you're gonna, just because it's also a full collection as well of an omnibus, so you're gonna get the full story. You get all the just you get the beats really well, because if it's a comic collection, it's like an episode, so it's got a lot of tension and a lot of like ups and downs throughout the whole thing, so it's got a really good pace to it as well. You'll breeze through it.
Okay, that'll be something that will appear in my eBay search soon. I have a feeling.
Definitely recommend. I love it.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, I realized we took a big tangent to speak about Academy, but I guess we pulled it back with the idea of being that's a good. And also, it's hard, isn't it? Because I want to ask questions about that, but also I don't necessarily want you to spoil everything for me. So it's just that the idea of expanding the story. And I think the point we mentioned earlier is that the comics are easier to read. Like, it's undeniably they're easier to read than a massive novel. And I have so many books that I'm like, I need to read these. And what's funny is I was reading. I've got this massive pile of books to read, a lot of Star Trek books on there, and then I also bought Mouse Guard, like the collected editions of that, the first, like the free main collected. I've read 2 of those, and I still haven't finished reading any of the Star Trek books I'd started because I could just pick them up and breeze through them. And I know I need to be better at reading. I understand everybody. I know. And, I had a wonderful guest, Lord John, he recommended a book and then he sent me the book and I still haven't read it. And it's right here. I'm touching it right now. It's there. I want to read it. But I know with the comics, I can just knock them out. So that might interrupt my reading pile again. I think I'm going to look into Red Shirt, so that does sound good. I've heard wonderful things about a number of the comics in general, so I just need to pull I need to pull the pin and just check out a few more. I think that's what I've got to do. Okay, well, thank you for bringing that on. We're just going to move into the final part of the show. We're going to go into incoming transmissions.
Incoming transmission.
So this is the part of the show where if you want to get in touch with me, you can email me, trekcommendations@gmail.com. You can comment on this video. You can comment if you listen on Spotify, I think. You can send me a DM. You can comment on any Instagram posts. And that's what I've got at the moment. Currently, the new season of Strange New Worlds is dropping every week. So I put out a little video on that, and that tends to get a few comments. Episode 3 was the last one as of recording this. Did you watch it, Lauren?
Yes, I did.
Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it as a standalone episode, and there's a lot to love, but I am missing that overarching story.
Yeah.
It's like I love just like obviously all the costumes. There's a lot of different kind of costumes that were happening in there, all the lighting, just the more it's again silly, it's fun. I liked the alien makeups at the end. There's some really beautiful work, and it's just the storyline of the pilot and the engineer, having that friction. And I was thinking about it. I was talking to my partner about that relationship with the pilot and the engineer, and I was like thinking it's a bit like Voyager, obviously with Paris and B'Elanna, but then that hate, that friction turns into marriage. Whereas like I don't think that's going to happen in this one.
Yeah. Well, we don't know what happens to Ortega, but we know what happens to Scotty. That's the problem, isn't it? I liked. I understood that. I like that we resolved that issue. What I didn't like massively is that wasn't an issue until the first episode of this season, and it was kind of like, oh, we'll create a problem to solve a problem here, and it just felt a bit. Did you like the second episode, the horror episode?
I love horror. I loved it a lot.
I had a feeling. So on that episode, I said, I realized some people are going to really love this. It's not for me at all. Like that, I'm just not a horror person. So
some people aren't.
But with that episode, and so when I did my review, I was like, this episode I did not enjoy at all. But I understand that some people will really like this. So absolutely not for me, personally not for me. And that's why I'm like, episode 3, I also didn't really enjoy. I still think episode 1 was the best episode so far.
Yeah, episode 1 was. I love that because it added extra to that lore of the dinosaurs, and I've seen other people make little videos of where it fits into the larger scale lore of everything.
Yeah. But and I think I put this one above episode 2 because there were a couple of moments I did laugh. I was like, oh, that's actually quite funny. And you're right, visually a spectacle, like the different costumes, the different aliens, all the wonderful to look at.
Yeah.
But every Thursday I'm putting up like a little kind of spoiler free, just there's no information about the episode here, but here's just a couple of my personal feelings about it. And it's interesting to see what people have to say. So I will just share a couple of them. Richard Final Frontier, we mentioned him earlier. He says, I didn't hate it. I'll take a comedic shore leave episode over horror. So 7 episodes still to go.
What is with people not liking horror? Is it like a bigger thing in Trek?
Well, I don't know, because I listened to Trek Culture and they all really enjoyed that episode. They all like horror, and there was a whole discourse about how a lot of TOS was actually horror, really, in the style of writing. So for me, it's and they like that there was no explanation. I kind of would have liked an explanation, I think, and I understand we don't always get an explanation, but that's, and also I guess the other thing is that, like, if Laan had been stabbed and was sort of bleeding out because of this, there could have been what's going to happen to her, but we know Kirk's going to be fine, we know Spock's going to be fine, so it takes away the kind of tension of like, oh, what's going to happen to them? Well, we know they're all
They're kind of seeding that there's something weird up with her, aren't they? Though I think that might be one of the very small overarching storyline that we're getting this time around. That there's something up with Lam. That's all there's been so far.
Yeah, you don't punch a dinosaur for no reason without something going. There was another. Also, Samo74. He says, I keep finding myself wishing I could go back in time to when they were storyboarding the concept for each episode, so I could say, you don't need to do all that. Why choose themes like Jurassic Park, Event Horizon, or The Hangover? Just be Star Trek. Have confidence that that's enough. I guess that's another similar sentiment. I feel of like, it's like we're trying to hide Star Trek, and it is a bit like, here's a horror movie, or here's Event Horizon through the lens of Star Trek, and here's The Hangover through the lens of Star Trek, and I'm kind of like, don't put stuff through the lens of Star Trek, just give me the Star Trek. But maybe I'm a bitter old man now. That's probably all it is, but I'm enjoying it, so I will still watch it, and I feel as long as my complaints are the same kind of complaint I would give about any other show, and be like, it's this element of the story I didn't like, or this plot hole, or this and that, it's absolutely fine. Like, I'm not picking on people because of, I don't like this actress, I don't like the way she looks, or something like that. I think as long as your criticisms are genuine and you can kind of back them up, I think it's fine. And I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Peek behind the curtain of this, we're recording this on a Monday. We've got 4 days, and then we'll be watching a new episode, and
yes,
and I'm hopeful. I'm ever the optimist.
It's a noir episode, so it's kind of like,
see, I do like film noir though.
I know,
so maybe this will turn it around for me.
I know, it's like, it'll be definitely the listening to the dialogue and that pattern, and that it's that the rhythm, and it's hitting the I don't know, it's like, I wouldn't call them cliches, but it's, what would you?
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. It is those kind of stereotypical, like,
it's like hitting the marks, but in a way which is fresh, where it's like, oh, like, well, you don't see them coming. That's what I mean, where it's like, it's not just, now this is how we write,
yeah, a film noir. Yeah. Well, let's see. But I'm also, I guess my concern is, if this was, season 4 of 7, 22 episodes long, I'd be like, have at it, do your horror episode, do your Hangover episode. I think I'm just worried because it's like there's like a counter ticking every episode, and you're like, oh, there's only a couple more left, and then it's ended forever, and I'm like, I really hope we get some resolution to some of these other bits, and also I want to know about this Vulcan.
Yes, same.
This is like,
like introducing a new character, and she's like such like a thorn in this like group now, which is so well oiled and just like that everyone, you know, like gets along well, other than for some reason Ortega and Scotty in that one episode, but now it's chill.
But now they're friends.
And, you know, it's kind of like that might have been. It's. Well, we'll see. I'm excited to see more what happens as well. Because in a noir as well, like a femme fatale kind of like, you know, just like a Vulcan, whereas a Vulcan that's still got that Vulcanness.
Yeah.
You know, like T'Pol, you know, like that kind of Vulcan.
Yeah. I mean, that's because obviously, you know, Spock's half Vulcan and he's really embracing his human side and that, but it's nice to get that kind of I do wonder if this is going to tie into him kind of becoming more Vulcan again, if there's going to be some link to that, because even in that horror episode, you kind of saw him realize a bit like, oh, I need to embrace logic. I need to think my way out of this situation and then be, you know, pure logic that will help me, sort of thing.
More of like a protection kind of like side of him, like to feel safe and to have that control.
Yeah.
And in that last episode where he was out of control and he thought he was hallucinating Kirk.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm giving spoilers.
I think by the time this has come out, if they've not watched it, you can't be upset with spoil. Like either you care or you don't. Like at this point,
it's like I like that, and it's like, oh, so he just laid it all bare and was like, he just felt like this was his journey, but he just didn't realize it. It's like I liked that, and that was a good extra depth to their relationship, and just.
I also wonder if Laan, like whatever's happening to her and their relationship, if something's going to happen to her or with her, that could also be a catalyst for him kind of withdrawing once again and kind of, you know, it's not good to be emotional. You can get hurt. Pure cold logic. I'll never be hurt again. Type thing.
I think that could be something. Prediction.
Yeah, and then he never mentions it. He never mentions it again. But that's so Spock, because we didn't know he had a brother. We didn't know he had a half sister.
That's just men.
Well, you can say that, I suppose. And on that wonderful note, Lauren, any projects coming up? Any like conventions that you might be at, somewhere people will see you, or is it just go online?
I'm going to be at Destination this month.
Oh, wonderful!
In Blackpool, so I'll be there, and I've got a couple of new cosplays I'm working on. Got a Strange New Worlds Nurse Chapel, so I've got her jumpsuit. So I've just I bought one, and I've done a load of alterations to it. So that's been fun working on that. And I got a Sharon alien, the half black, half white character I've been working on.
Yeah.
So that's more of a fun character I've been working on. So I took a little break. I've been writing some skits and just some funny things. I want to start making some more funny things as well. So you'll be seeing that from me.
Well, I look forward to seeing that, because I've said, and I will say it now at the end to upset a few people, but I miss when there's not like original content, especially online, like when it is just copy and pasting other things that people have done, or just, you know, other audio over maybe I'm just too old for all of that. When people write something new and record something new, that's when I'm like, oh, this is so. All like the little stupid skits I do, I'll script them out, write them out, record the bits, and I'll be like, okay, even if you don't think this is very good, at least it's original. It's my idea. Like I came up with it, kind of thing.
I love that.
I look forward to seeing what you do. And then, yeah, excellent. So people can go and find you. Instagram, the best place, I guess. That's the one with all the pictures, right? Or track you down if they're in Blackpool. I do need to get to this session. That is one on my list, and it's so much more achievable for me than Las Vegas. But it's just maybe not this. Maybe next year. Who knows?
Next year.
Maybe next year.
Love to see you there.
I've got an additional. If I didn't have enough reasons to go, there's one more reason to go. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Lauren. People should go and check out your content, especially as we've got some new cosplays that will be debuting. So look out for that. As always, I will be back next week with another guest and another Trekcommendation.
Ending program.